Father Joseph, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Adams, faculty, staff, parents, family, friends, and the class of 2020. Welcome, and I thank you all for the honor of representing the class of 2020 today as the valedictorian. While this is not the way we expected to gather today, we are so fortunate to enjoy one last moment together as a community of love and charity that is formed through a powerful fraternity and beautiful faith in Christ. Today, as we prepare to embark on our next journey in life, I will tell you that the greatest problem that we will face as a society is division. But our Servite experience has provided us with the tools to solve this problem. So with 3 distinct words, unexpected, unrecognized, and unforgettable, together we will focus on how Servite has led us to unity instead of division. What connects these 3 words is the prefix un, which means not. At this moment, if I were to ask every Servite senior the following question, if you were to have those last 2 months of senior year back, what would you do? I would receive 193 different responses. By reflecting on our Servite experience, though, I recalled the first lesson that my mom ever taught me, which was to never live with regrets. So it's easy to remember what we could not do, but instead, we should focus on what we did do. So my first wish is that none of you feel or will ever feel regret about our high school journey. This motto carried my perspective as I entered Servite as an anxious freshman. Like all of you, I had ambitions, goals, and dreams to accomplish in my 4 years. On top of that, from our very first moments of freshman formation, we listened to Mr. Flanagan repeatedly shout 2 challenges. Our first, to be unique. Our second, to not wait around for an opportunity, but to use our uniqueness to create an opportunity. And as a class, we did just that. Many of us dominated the Trinity League with team championships and personal recognition, and some of us went even further to earn CIF or even national titles. In the classroom, we explored our academic passions, which have afforded us the opportunity to attend phenomenal institutions such as the Air Force Academy, USC, UCLA, Notre Dame, Columbia, Stanford, and many more. And all of us have impacted and changed people's lives through our service in places like Her Servant's Kitchen, Rad Camp, Sign, and Bridges. At no other place can you find such a diverse, successful, innovative, proud group of young, faith-filled leaders. These accomplishments are merely the tip of the iceberg, though, of what makes this class so special. And I hope that you agree with me that we should have no regrets after all that we have done. We all excelled in our different ways, and after interacting with our class for 4 years, it was no surprise that we were so accomplished. However, what I and many of us did not expect as we embarked on our high school journey was how our teachers would forever impact us. As we adjusted to the rush of high school during our freshman year, there were teachers like Mrs. Cook, who showed us how to share our stories, Mrs. Poyer, who connected us to the ancient biblical stories, and Mr. Caddy and Mr. Showman, who through their own stories filled our biology classes with laughter and entertainment. We were then challenged in our sophomore year to embrace and cherish our education instead of searching for a mere grade on a report card. Through their passion for each of their subjects, Mr. Ellis Hunt, Ms. Trinidad, and Mr. Goodwin embodied dedication and determination to improving our abilities as students and citizens. Then, junior year hit. In between the rush of preparing for college by studying for SATs and ACTs and gaining leadership experience in Priory, sports, and clubs, we were also faced with a seemingly insurmountable, difficult academic course load. Thank you to Mrs. Gibbs, who inspired me to immerse myself in Spanish culture and empowered me to communicate with Spanish. Thank you for blessing so many students with 40 years of teaching. It demonstrates how selfless and caring you are to everyone you meet. Now, as we stand before you all as seniors who are eager and ready to seize the opportunities that await us in the future, we reminisce on the short-lived memories of this year. From Mrs. Campbell, Mrs. Sorio, Mr. Brian Hunt, Mr. Martin, and Mr. Powers, we gained invaluable wisdom that will guide our future decisions in college and beyond. Although all of these teachers taught us different academic subjects, they shared the same ambition to bring forth the best in every student. And when being blessed to attend a place like Servite, we can take for granted many of the unrecognized everyday heroes. To Mr. Adams, who provides a wholesome campus for learning like no other. To Mr. Brennan, whose academic visions kept us on task for success. And to Dean Conklin, whose gentleman-like values led us toward right judgment and leadership. Thank you to Mrs. Barrera, Mrs. Watanabe, and Mrs. Hoffreiter, who strove every day to make a Servite education accessible to every student. Thank you to our coaches, formation directors, our Servite priests, and priory rectors, who shaped us to be leaders in all walks of life. Their spiritual guidance and ever-present focus of Jesus and Mary at the foot of the cross shaped how we embrace our faith. And of course, without our counselors, we would not have the wonderful opportunities to pursue our passions and dreams at the colleges of our choice. I personally cherish how Mrs. Valenzuela would give me the good luck I needed before going to take a test or simply sharing a conversation about the weekend or upcoming events. And I finally treasure Miss Reckner for the advice she gave me for the past 4 years and the faith she had in me from the very beginning. These people are two of Servite's hidden gems, and I was lucky enough to find them. In their different ways, they all exemplify true servant leadership by putting our lives before their own. Then there are the mentors who made our Servite experience unforgettable. Dr. Eng, I don't know how a select few of us were unbelievably lucky to get to have your class for 4 years. Each year was better than the previous one. Room 206 was my home, and it was because of the care that you had for each of your students. Coach Marujo, throughout my 4 years, and especially in our senior meetings, you taught me that as young men, we are able to fraternally love one another. Mr. Van Dyke, your guidance and mentorship were unparalleled. You made me grow in resiliency and dedication, which are the two characteristics I admire most about you. Mr. Scott, from the moment I met you in the 5th grade, you have always been one of my biggest fans. Your encyclopedic knowledge and compassion for others are what I aspire to have someday. And as everyone here has experienced at Servite, we have found friends that have become our family. Thank you to the DeCorpos for always going above and beyond to care and comfort for me and my siblings. Thank you to Zachary Jaime, who has been a loyal childhood friend. Thank you to whom I've shared classes with, especially Cameron, Ryan, Mark, John, Justin, and Anthony, for always bringing energy to all of our classes. Together, we found how our education truly can become fun. Thank you to the volleyball seniors, Jackson, Brady, Max, Peter, Connor, Jack, Robert, Jacob, and Cole. For I cherish the lifetime memories that we made in the team room, on bus rides to games, and our spontaneous trips to the beach. Thank you to Angelo, Nolan, and Kelvin, our generalette, and 3 amazing friends. I will cherish the laughs we had in our morning meetings and the creative ideas we found through late night debates. And finally, the most essential people in our lives that have always been there when we needed them most are our family members. Our family is who defines us as people. They are our first educators and will always be our closest friends. On behalf of the class of 2020, we want to thank our parents and extended family who have molded us into the young men that we have become. My gratitude and love goes to my family, to my grandparents, Aunt Cindy, and relatives who have encouraged and supported me along the way, to Frank Gomez for his unconditional love and great advice, to my sister Megan, who lights up our household every day with her love, joy, and hugs. Rosary Academy is really lucky to have you. To my brother Brandon, you are a moral compass, leader, and guide for many, and my lifelong best friend. To my beautiful and wonderful mother, you are the first person I turn to for anything and everything because you are the wisest person I know. You give me the courage to become the best version of myself, and I can never repay you for all of the love and support you have given me. From all of our teachers, faculty, staff, friends, and family, we learned our final lesson at Servite, which is how to love others, no matter how different they might be, just like Christ. So, as we prepare to begin our next journey in life, I remind you all that we face a dilemma. We are divided as a nation, as a society, and as a human race. We live in a world where people still do not receive equal treatment solely because they are different. We live in a world that is more ready to fight each other in war than join forces against a global pandemic. We live in a nation that is more politically polarized than ever. However, we are ready to overcome these challenges. Today, we might feel separated by 3 graduation ceremonies, but we will always stand together as one brotherhood. I originally described our class with 3 words, which are unexpected, unrecognized, and unforgettable. Again, we look at the prefix un. But by looking from a different perspective, we can notice that un in Spanish refers to one. At Servite, we have formed one community that celebrates our uniqueness, which is what we must share with the world. Servite is what you make of it. You can shine as an athlete, or as a student, or as an artist. You can build your faith in incomparable ways through Kairos, class retreats, and formation days. And you can lead in many ways, whether it is a small group project or speaking in front of the entire school. However, one thing is for sure, Servite is our home. This moment was maybe not what we expected, but it suits us best. We are a class of perseverance, resilience, and grit. And while these 3 facets may go unnoticed sometimes, our presence as a class and individuals will never go unnoticed. We are unforgettable. We stand in unity. And with this final word, we can end our high school journey together. In unity, we entered Servite. In unity, we became faithful leaders. And finally, in unity, we leave Servite, ready to face and resolve these issues. So my final message to you, class of 2020, is to remember the crest as we part our separate ways. The crest has taught us the beauty of unity through love. Love to bring peace into the world. Love to celebrate the diversity that makes us unique. Love to unite the world. We were destined to be great from the beginning, so be great for others. With God by our side, embrace the love of others and shape the future to be better than the past. Never let someone tell you that you cannot do something. I love you all, and I will never forget you. Congratulations, class of 2020, and may you be blessed on your journey.